Prometheus is a modification to the Halo Reach campaign on Halo the Master Chief Collection for PC. The creator's name is Best Sakuya, NA, on the Nexus website where you can download this mod. Prometheus for Halo Reach is a complete overhaul of the weapon sandbox, the AI encounters and behaviors, to include audio enhancements, with an optional visual reshade modification named Torpedo. Both links to these tightly woven mods, Prometheus and Torpedo, are found in the description of this video. One of the mods that laid much of the groundwork for this mod named Prometheus is Vengeful Vadom's Reach Evolved mod. Ruby of Blue, another well-known Halo mod creator in which I've shown off his mods before, released Reach Rebalance that built upon Vengeful Vadom's mod. And now we find ourselves with this amazing Halo Reach mod, Prometheus. This is further proof that all great things take time. Let me review many of the new weapons that you will find. As I do, I will not show every single new weapon, as part of the charm and experience for this mod is discovering something new yourself. And I don't want to take that away from you. The Ardent Lancer is in the form of the Needler rifle from Halo Reach Retail, but there are no visible needles sticking out of the side, and this weapon does not super combine your enemies. Instead, the Ardent Lancer is closer in behavior to the Covenant Carbine, with rapid fire capability if you hold down the trigger. It's a straight to the chase, no nonsense type of weapon. Switching to the Assault Rifle, you will see that the magazine has been beefed up to 48 rounds. You're going to need those spare rounds with the increase in overall difficulty for this Prometheus mod, but it certainly feels great knowing that you have some more lead to unload into a group of Covenant, inciting you to be a bit more reckless if you want to. The Bullseye Rifle is considerably more accurate to almost all of the other assault rifle variants that you'll see here. However, with a lower magazine size in comparison to the other assault rifles in this Prometheus mod, and its lower damage per shot at close range, you'll feel more comfortable getting some distance on your enemies before getting up close and personal with another weapon. While there are a number of shotgun variants in this Prometheus mod, the base shotgun here has improved in its effective range, putting a frown on your enemies up close and personal, but putting a smile on your face. The XBR, a battle rifle-like weapon in the form of a DMR, firing a 5-round burst with 60 rounds being the max capacity for each magazine. It's very lethal at close range. The Plasma Repeater also fires a 5-round burst, although it's known as the Plasma Spate from the Halo Reach Evolved mod, with a darker looking blue color scheme. Speaking of color schemes, not only do the new weapons utilize colors to distinguish themselves from one another, but the original looking Elite armor colors from Halo Combat Evolved have been brought back into this mod. The Elite Miners are blue and the Elite Majors are red, with subtle differences in their armor. And the Golden Elites in Halo Combat Evolved are Elite Zealots. But a lot of Elites in this Prometheus mod, despite their rank, will sometimes opt to don the minor armor set instead, and the more elaborate armor sets are seen every so often. In the Halo E3 trailer of 2000, an Elite Major has a shield on his left arm. Well, you can face an Elite Zealot in gold minor armor once you make your way into Visegrad Station. It's a Jackal shield, so it's not as distinct as the one that we saw in the E3 demo of 2000, but it's a nice nod to the trailer that was shown over 20 years ago. You've likely noticed that some elites are dual wielding in this mod. Since you, the player, are not able to dual wield in Halo Reach, going against an elite that is feels so much more frantic, despite us, as Halo players, having experienced dual wielding elites in Halo 2. The Brute Plasma Rifle makes its appearance in Prometheus, and while the original Blue Plasma Rifle has undergone an improvement from retail, the Brute Plasma Rifle has more stopping power, although it overheats quicker, just like in the other Halo games. Not only are there UNSC troopers that fight alongside you, you'll notice throughout this video plenty of other Spartan 3s assisting you in the battle. The Spartan 3s also have different armor sets that are all recognizable from the armory for player customization. This was so cool to see, and what surprised me even more was when I saw one of the AI Spartan 3s board a Wraith, and they started destroying it. The AI behavior in these Spartan 3s can sometimes make you feel like you're just watching a real player. There was another time when I boarded a Wraith at the front driver's hatch, and another Spartan 3 got onto the other side, and we both started punching away at it. It was awesome. The AI Spartan 3s are very resilient on foot as well. Going back to sword base here, I want to show you that you can board the hunters in this mod Prometheus. We've seen this ability in other Halo Reach mods, but I want to show you that you can do it in this one, and if you have some grenades, go ahead and throw the grenade into them. But if you don't have any grenades, you can melee them to death. However, you are still vulnerable, so you might have to disembark. The range shotgun. This was a surprise to see, although it does remind me of the effective range for the Halo Combat Evolved shotgun. You could pretty much snipe with that thing. But in Prometheus, this range shotgun has a 2x magnifier, and while the range shotgun is effective against armor and shields, it's not necessarily that effective against health. But if you have an exposed body part, go ahead and take it away with the 4 shells that you have. I recommend playing Prometheus on heroic difficulty, as you will likely get killed numerous times, but you will want to keep playing and trying out different strategies whenever you respawn. Prometheus provides us longtime Halo fans a fantastic new challenge, and that's on each and every level. You can see here on the campaign level Nightfall, there's an added heavy rain effect. And I felt like this was some kind of first-person version of a Metal Gear Solid game with the dark environmental lighting and the heavy rain effect, while I took out the enemies silently with the Automag. The Automag in Prometheus is similar to the behavior of the Automag in Halo 3 ODST. Now to go all out loud, with the Buzzsaw Rifle, you can fire 15 rounds in less than a second if you hold down the trigger. But as you hold down the trigger longer, the fire rate will slow down. The Buzzsaw is great for close quarters, and take a listen to it. And the Hailstorm Pistol has the same idea. Fire rounds as quickly as possible. In this case, you can fire 8 powerful rounds in just over 1 second. The Twilight Needler is a powerful 3-needle burst firing weapon that can effectively track your targets up to medium range. If your target is unshielded, then the crisp blue needles will create a beautiful purple and pink explosion. Alright, now let's get beefy. The heavy DMR deals a large amount of damage to armored and shielded enemies with 12 rounds for a full magazine. The heavy DMR is great for flanking groups of Covenant, as your abundant amount of allies help you out on the other side. But if I were to take away something else from the level Nightfall in this Prometheus mod, other than the awesome fresh gameplay with the new weapons and the smarter AI, it's the environment. The heavy rain effect adds to the chaos that the entire game of Halo Reach, I believe, was trying to make us feel in the retail version. Reach is being invaded by the Covenant, and this added heavy rain effect speaks to the impending doom that has already made landfall. But what would an overhaul mod for Halo be if there wasn't some modifications to the vehicles? Well, I introduced to you the Badger, a pickup truck with an EMP grenade launcher mounted at the back, and the first-person view while you occupy the mounted grenade launcher as the AI drives you is such a cool view. The Badger's gunner seat is the only seat that allows you to see in first person. And one of the other great things is that I experienced some competence from the AI driving me. So not only have the enemies and allies improved in their awareness and weapon competence on foot, but their drivability, when it matters, reveals the additional improvements made to the AI in this mod. And that's important given the abundance of vehicles that have been added to certain sections within the campaign. The biggest strength that I've noticed in reference to the AI being more competent with their firearms is their seemingly improved vision and determination to fire at an enemy who is at a considerable distance. It always bothered me in many retail Halo games how your allies would spot a distant enemy or group of enemies, and your allies would start engaging them. But never would they seem confident long enough to continue fighting unless you made forward progress and you took out the enemy. I understand that there is a delicate dance when developing a Halo video game where the player should feel like the one changing up the battlefield, like they are the ones saving the allies and moving the story forward. Unfortunately, that comes with the cost of making your allies seem useless and only useful in scripted events. Certainly, this mod Prometheus allows you to feel like you are fighting an uphill battle with the large influx of Covenant forces we never saw in Halo Reach retail. As for your allies, however, they are not tumbling past you as you fight that uphill battle. Instead, they seem to be with you every step of the way, as if you are never really alone. Oh, and I must show you what is at the top of the spire waiting to challenge you. Now that we have covered the AI improvements in this mod Prometheus, back to the weapons. The Twilight Rifle takes the form of the Needler Rifle. Yet the needles have a crystal clear bluish purplish tinge to them. Much like the Ardent Lancer, the first new weapon I showed off in this video, the Twilight Rifle does not super combine your enemies, although with its accuracy and double barrel design that fires 2 shots per pull of the trigger, you can certainly cause some havoc for the Covenant. It also has a very high tendency of ricocheting off of many different surfaces. Next up, the Shredder Rifle. It's a suppressed assault rifle that fires 4-shot bursts of heavy damage dealing rounds with a magazine capacity of 28 rounds. Therefore, keep in mind that you have 7 pulls of the trigger before you're empty. While the Shredder Rifle is effective at close range, long range, that's not so. But it sounds really cool, especially when a squad of improved AI allies are firing their Shredder Rifles together.
6. Safety's on.
Yikes. Where there is violence, there is fire, and a particular weapon that is brought into the modified Halo Reach world is a weapon that is extremely powerful. A weapon that, if seen in the hands of the Covenant, it is imperative that you take them out as quickly as possible. Were it so easy. I introduce to you the Torture, a flamethrower belonging to the Brutes. Take no prisoners, burn everything in sight. Whereas the Commando Rifle, my favorite assault rifle variant in this Prometheus mod, is a powerful 20-round firearm with 2x zoom capability. The creator noted that this assault rifle variant is loosely based on Halo Infinite's assault rifle in the gameplay trailer. I like it for its consistency. Each round feels like it matters leaving the weapon. Each round has a purpose. The Brute Plasma Spate, a fully automatic weapon with higher stopping power than the standard Plasma Spate. But with the higher rate of fire, the weapon overheats quicker, so find your balance. Well, that Brute dropped something interesting. Why, look at this. It's the Mulcher, a powerful spiked machine gun in the form of a fuel rod cannon. This weapon is very powerful against unshielded enemies, though it can also dissipate a Jackal's shield. While I very much enjoy using the Mulcher, it is a weapon you may want to consider giving to your allies, as we've discussed earlier about their improved weapon capability. Since the mod Prometheus adds more weapons to Halo Reach, it seems fitting that we would see more variety in the weapons that use spikes and needles. In Prometheus, the variations of the Needler start to show how devastating the concept of this Needler weapon is, how brutal and painful it must be for the being in which it is used upon. This particular variation of the Needler you've been seeing is named the Harbinger Needler. This weapon fires 8 needles in one burst, and in that one burst it can super combine a target. The drawback is that its tracking is more limited in comparison to the other Needler variations. With the aggressive reddish and pinkish hue of the needles protruding out from the top of the weapon, it feels like you are holding a vicious hedgehog with a score to settle. The Harbinger Needler is one to consider using at medium range, in which you are moving around aggressively, as the super combined explosion may work against you in close quarters. Now for my favorite weapon in the Prometheus Halo Reach mod. It's the accurate and powerful Crusader Rifle. This rifle appears to fire 6 spikes in one pull of the trigger, but upon closer viewing, you can see that 12 spikes are fired from the weapon in one pull of the trigger, allowing you to be more consistent as you fire 6 pairs of spikes. The Crusader Rifle is certainly effective at medium range, and the absence of bloom can make you feel more confident in engaging an enemy at long range, or even at point blank range. There is so much more to this Prometheus mod that is out there for you to discover. However, I feel it's right to showcase just a little sliver of this mod, as this has been the type of Halo Reach I've been playing as of late. The link to download Prometheus is in the description of this video. Thank you for watching.